All right, how's everyone going? We are back for another video. This time we are covering territory battles. This is Celestiam, and we're going to look at basically a how-to, everything that you need to know for territory battle, including using the Echostation bot to fulfill your assigned platoons in exactly the way you're supposed to do them. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Right now, we are in phase 2 out of 4 of territory battles, Geonosian Separatist Might. This is the Dark Side Geo TB that we've just started doing in Chewy on DAT. For those in Chewy on DIS, you guys have been grinding this for a while. And we have been utilizing the tool Echostation Bot now for around about 4 or 5 TBs ish. Over both Hoth, Light Side, and GeoTB Dark Side. There has been a little bit of confusion with how to use this bot correctly, so we're going to clear all that up for you guys today. And the other thing we're going to look at doing is just a general how to TB. Essentially, what does everything mean? This can be one of the more confusing guild events. When you first get into it, there's a lot to sort of consume. There's a lot of different aspects to this particular game mode, and we're going to cover them all today so that you guys are all across it now. So let's go in here. Right now, we've got our TB officers focusing our engagement on this zone here. So when you go in to TB, you're about to do your platoons, your combat missions, and your deployment for the day. The first thing that you want to do is your combat platoons. So the platoons are, and in this zone they're already filled, you can see that they're grayed out here. If we go over here, this is the platoon we're focusing on today. The platoons are these guys here. So you guys won't see this tab here. You'll just see enter, and you'll have the officer command come up here. This is saying check Discord for your assignments, guys. It's super important that you only assign the platoons that you have been assigned by the bot. And we're going to cover the reasons for that soon. But what do these platoons even do, right? A lot of people just kind of glaze over all this information here. No one really gets what it is or what it's referring to. They just enter, they just drop whatever they've got, and then you can call that a done deal and go and do your combat missions, go and do your deployment, and then you're out of there quick smart. But let's take a deeper look at this and see if we can actually figure out what's happening here. What the platoons actually do for us is unlock these special abilities. And you can see here that for this one, we're going to be looking at unlocking the Hailfire tank. It's currently saying here to us that it's disabled because we haven't filled up any of the platoons yet. But if we click into the platoon and then on the ability here in the middle, we can see what this ability is actually going to do for us. So at level 1, this is going to deal physical damage to a target enemy and inflict 3 damage over time, debuffs for 2 turns. At level 2, this gets a little bit better, so we're going to be plus 20% damage on what we were already doing in level 1. We're going to add 2 random enemies affected with that damage over time. We're going to inflict stagger for 2 turns on those enemies as well, and the target enemy. Alright, so whoever we're targeting when we drop this ability is definitely going to get it. Then in level 3, we're going to add an additional 20% again, and it's now going to affect all enemies. We're going to add inflict defense down, offense down, and tenacity down for 2 turns. So you can see that at level 3, if we're able to fill all these combat platoons as soon as possible, we're going to be able to give ourselves a significant advantage by utilizing the greatest level of this ability here, level 3. So you can see here in the middle, this is our progression bar for how far we're actually going with filling this up. Once we fill one of the 6 platoons on either side here of this window, we're going to get this progression bar fill up. All right, so once all 15 platoons have been assigned in platoon 1, we're going to have a little progression bar start to fill here. Once we get to this line here, we're going to unlock level 1 of the ability. Once we fill up 4 platoons, we're going to unlock level 4, and then if we fill them all up, we'll unlock the ability at level 3. So we can click on any of these platoons where it's giving a notification that we have characters available, and we can drop them. And we used to just drop them willy-nilly, essentially. You could drop whatever characters you wanted if they were available to do. However, now we're not doing that, and there's several very important reasons why. The first is what the Echostation bot actually does is assess all of the rosters that our members within the guild have, and they first of all let us know if it's even possible for us to fill these platoons. And this is huge because what it allows us to do is stop wasting resources if we're not actually able to fill them up. We can keep those characters or ships to be able to use in the combat missions later. You know, they might be key characters for us. So we actually have an example of this if we go over to here. We can see that we have platoons here waiting to be filled. However, in Squadron 1, we don't have any of these Emperor shuttles in our guild. The reason being is fairly simple. It's not a particularly useful ship. You're not going to use it in your squad arena. You're not going to be using it really anywhere except for in this Geonosian TB on the dark side. This guy is required for quite a few different platoons across this territory battle when it comes to the ship zones. And so we're kind of needing to unlock more of these before we can even consider filling this up. So, you know, if I was to drop my Ahsoka Tano ship here right now, this is one of my best ships, then it would be a complete waste because this squadron's never going to get filled because we don't have this Emperor shuttle. If this isn't going to get filled and I've dropped my ship here, it was a complete waste of time, right? I could have dropped that in another squadron where that ship would have been useful, and it actually would have contributed to us, getting the ability for this particular platoon, which here is the core ship. All right, and you can see the various levels that the core ship is going to give us here. Now, the other factor that we need to consider when it comes to these abilities is where are they actually going to affect us in the TB in the future? And that is what this window here is telling us. So if we have a look at this little marker here, this is telling us what zone we're hovering over now. So you can see we're in the top zone here in the second row, and this ability, once it's unlocked, is going to affect these highlighted zones here. All right, so this is where we do our Wat-Tan Ball mission, and this is the one that's below it. So if we're able to unlock this ability, it's going to give us, as per the level that it's got, it's going to give us those boons for these two territories here. If we look at a good example of this, here's a platoon that we filled up previously in Phase 1. Droid Factory at full strength. If we have a look at what this ability does for us at level 3, it summons that B2 rocket trooper to the ally slot if it's available. It dispels all buffs on all enemies. Separatist allies gain 50% turn meter. Droid allies reset their cooldowns at the start of their turn for 2 turns. And this is a huge ability because we get this rocket trooper for pretty much every zone going forward in the middle and bottom. All right. So it's really, really good that we've got this guy unlocked at level 3, and adding more and more of these special abilities throughout the TB is just going to make these combat missions, these guys here, a lot easier for us to complete. All right. So that's the importance of filling out our platoons. So now that we know that the platoons are important, how do I fill them out as per my assignments that the bot has given me so that I'm not filling up anybody else's platoons? All right, well, in order to answer that question, we need to head over to Discord, where the Echostation bot is going to be sending us private messages which outline the information that we need to know in order to ascertain what our assignments are. So let's go over and have a look at that. This is my Discord window here where you can see I have 2 notifications from the Echostation bot. This is going to hover over the home bar in Discord. See, that's my home button then. It's hovering right under that home button there because it's notifying me that I haven't read these messages yet. And I can scroll through this information and find out what my assignments are. Now, it's important to kind of read all of this information. So it's telling me that these assignments are for the Geonosis Territory Battles Dark Side Phase 2. This is for my Celestiam account. So for those of you that have, like me, 2 different accounts that you're using, you're going to get a lot of messages from this bot basically outlining your assignments for both of your accounts. Okay. So this is my Celestium account. I need to make sure that I'm dropping the right platoons on the right account. And then if I look at this information here, it's going to tell me what is the zone where these platoons need to be filled out. This is the top zone, the core shipyards mission, and I have an assignment to drop Slave 1 in Squadron 2. Alrighty, so hopefully this goes well. We're going to go over to core shipyards mission, enter in there, into 2, and here is Slave 1. Assign that guy under Squadron 2 there, and I've completed that assignment. Yay for us. Okay, let's drop this down, see if we've got any more assignments. Okay, Separatist Command Mission. This is the Middle Territory. In Platoon 5, they want me to do my Aura Sing. Let's go do it. Whoop. There's my calendar. So we're going to leave the Core Shipyards mission now. Our platoon was assigned for the Middle Territory, so here we go in the Middle Territory. Separatist Command Mission. Enter. I think it was Platoon 2. Let me double check. Platoon 5, see? And Aura Sing. Bam. Dropper. Beautiful. Alright, guys. So this is fairly easy to do. You can see I don't have any assignments here at the bottom. In fact, it's telling us that all of these platoons right now are impossible for our guild to fill. You know, again, imagine the resources that our guild would have wasted on assigning platoons down here if, you know, we didn't know that these were actually possible for our guild to fill. So it's super important, right? We know here that all of these platoons are fillable by a guild right now, but just that I have no assignments for any of these platoons except for 5 in Aura Sing. If I go down again, we can see now that these are the assignments for my Cage Stormant account, alright? So when I jump over to my main account, I can go ahead and put my Ebon Hawk and my Clone Sergeant's Arc 170 in Squadron 3, and I'll put my Biston's Ewing in Squadron 5. Then I'm going to go down here and do my assignments for Platoon 1 and Platoon 4, exactly as it outlays them here. Alright, so once we go through and we've done that, we're confident that we've assigned our platoons correctly. We're basically sweet for that side of the territory battles. Now, the other thing that's extremely important to note here is that we want to get these combat missions filled out as quickly as possible once the phase starts. And the reason being for that is because sometimes the combat missions will grant us an ability that is actually used in the zone that we're filling those platoons in now. And so generally when that happens, you're going to have your 2B officers restrict access to being able to fill out those combat missions. So if we head back over to BlueStacks here, you can see here that there's nice big red crosses through these combat missions on this zone here. That's basically telling us that basically don't want us to start completing these combat missions yet, and the reason being is because we're still trying to unlock these abilities that affect this zone, okay, in the various different spots here, etc. So, super important that you're always following the commands, and super important that your absolute number one priority when it comes to both TBs that we do, the light side and the dark side, that you come in, fill in these platoons as quickly as you possibly can once the phase starts, as per the Discord requirements with that Echostation bot. The other thing that's great about the Echostation bot is that it's going to be assigning platoons based on the weakest characters that we have in the guild that a certain member can spare. That might sound a little bit confusing, so let me clear it up for you guys. Essentially, if we went in here and clicked on this, we can see here that there's a Django Fett here available for me to drop, right? Now, I know that Echostation bot didn't assign me this platoon, even though I have it available to be able to drop. The reason being is because my Django Fett is relatively geared up. It's had a look at my roster and it knows that it's in one of the key squads that I'm going to be using in combat missions, likely to be able to contribute to more points for our overall TB score to accrue those stars. And that if I drop it, this is going to be a bigger hit to my overall ability to accrue as much GP as I can in this phase, as opposed to somebody else in the guild who has a Django Fett that meets the minimum requirements but isn't as highly geared as mine, or it may just not affect their roster if it's dropped in this platoon, as it's going to affect me and my roster if I was to drop this Django Fett. Okay, so that's one of the other variables that Echostation Bot is going to be using to assess who it's going to give assignments to. Now, before we go off the Echostation Bot, I just want to show you guys one more thing, because there are circumstances in which you may not receive any messages from the Echostation bot. If that is the case, you are going to be tagged right here. So you can see that the Echostation bot in our DAT territory battles channel, or in the DIS territory battles channel if you're in the DIS guild, is also going to be giving us a complete layout of all of the assignments for literally everyone in the guild for the phase. All right. So it's giving us a bit of a legend here. It's telling us these platoons are possible, odd number of possible platoons. Occasionally they can be worth doing, occasionally not. And this symbol here means that it's impossible for our guild to fill that platoon. Here's a lot of other information about the bot. And here is where we start seeing those symbols, okay? So in phase 2, for the core shipyard mission on the top, these big red crosses in Squadron 1, Squadron 4, and Squadron 6 are letting us know that our guild is unable to fill those platoons. However, we are able to get Squadron 2, 3, and 5, and so it has assigned various platoons for us all to do to get these guys filled up. All right. Same here for the mid. All of these are possible for us right now, and for the bottom here, either the bot has determined that we can't fill them, or the TB officer has decided that we're not going to be focusing our roster here, and so they've actually told the bot that we don't want to be putting any of our resources into these platoons at all. All right. So we can go through here and see now Celestiam, Slave 1. That was my assignment that was in my DMs before in Discord that we had a look at. Squadron 2 at the top. This was my assignment here, right? And we can have a look at the assignments for everybody else and see exactly what they were supposed to be dropping. Same here for Squadron 3, Squadron 5, etc. We go all the way down and we can see all these assignments. Now, if you didn't get any assignments, you're going to see this gold bar, which means I've been tagged here, right? So because I have the Chewy on DAT tag, this has gone gold for me because the bot has tagged me here to let me know that our guild needs more 6-star Emperor Shuttle ships in order to fill out more of these combat platoons. If you don't have assignments here, like Darcera, Chopper and Nansdale, Font, Hammerhand, etc., then it's going to tag you here. Okay, so if you don't get a DM, but you see that there's a tag for you in that territory battles, come and check it out, confirm that you've got no assignments. If you haven't got an assignment that's come into the Echostation bot in your DMs, and if you haven't been tagged in this no assignments thing here with the bot, then it's likely that something has gone wrong, which does happen from time to time. All you need to do is in this channel go at that officer, go ahead and tag them, let them know that you're having issues, and they're going to sort it out for you ASAP. All right, that is it for that, guys. So what we're going to look at now is a combat mission. So the next thing that I like to do once I've completed all of my platoons is come in and do a combat mission. Now, we've done all of our platoons for Celestiam now, so we can go ahead and start trying to knock out some of these battles here. Start accruing some stars for us. So, we're going to go in, we're going to select my Beastie Geos. And once this game finally loads us in, we're going to go ahead and start chopping these guys out. Now, the combat missions are really good because you can see that to this mission in particular, there's 4 phases to it. Every phase that I defeat is going to earn me a significant amount of points for this phase for the guild overall. Territory points, there they are. So 187. So, you know, this squad's overall power, if I was to deploy it, is somewhere around about the 100,000 mark. So even if I only defeat phase 1 of these combat missions, I've already increased the amount of territory points that I was able to score for the guild by approximately 80,000. So if you have the ability to come in and even complete 1 phase out of 4 in these combat missions, then you absolutely should come in and do that because it makes a significant contribution to the overall amount of stars that we're able to get as a guild. And as you guys know, the more stars we get, the more rewards we get. Once we get out of this mission, I'm going to show you where we can go and see exactly what rewards we can get for the stars that we're accruing as a guild, so that you know what you guys are up for at the end of the week in terms of rewards. Here I am just trying to continually, get that clone medic down because he's going to, sometimes I click on the stream rather than on the actual game because I've got my mouse in the wrong spot. So I was trying to refocus that combat medic and it wasn't happening because I was in the wrong window, but you want to get those combat medic down, otherwise they are going to revive the other clones and that's going to cause you some problems. The final phase of these missions can sometimes be quite difficult. It pays to hover over these non-dispellable buffs and just find out what they're about. So if you're on a computer, you just hold down the click, or if you're on your mobile phone, you just hold your finger over the top of those non-dispellable buffs and you're going to be able to get a full description here of exactly what that is doing. So we can see here that with tough terrain, while Clone Commander is active, all characters' speed is set to 150 and can't be changed at the start of each enemy's turn. All Clone Trooper allies gain 15% turn meter. That is a doozy. For each active Clone Trooper ally, the Clone Commander deals 10% more damage while attacking. So we really don't like that guy. It makes sense that we might want to get rid of him ASAP. So let's see if we can do it. Look at my beautiful Geonosians go. Attacking that evil Clone Commander, working for the evil Republic. They have no idea. Alright, so we can see another one of those undispellable buffs has been applied. I know that this is going to be a problem pretty much. As I say, it always pays, but because I've got my Geonosians to quite a high gear level, I'm happy to go ahead and leave this on auto, but I strongly recommend that you guys have a bit more of a strategy going in if you're dealing with characters of a lower gear. if you guys watched my video on optimizing your roster and making sure that each squad you work on, you're getting them up to relic, this is a fantastic idea. Uh, reason why you should do that, right? Because we can come into these combat missions, hit auto, and be reasonably confident that our guys are going to get the job done. That's one of the things I love about it. If I'm on my main account, I've only got my Geonosian Brood Alpha relict, and I have to really be watching those guys the whole time if I want them to get any good work done for me. Okay, so once I have done both of the combat missions that I want to do here, maybe I want to come over and do the special mission so I can get more of these Mark II guild tokens for the guild and stuff like that. I'm not confident that the characters I've got are going to be able to. With this one, in order to actually get the rewards from this, you need to beat all phases of the battle. Generally for these, there can be between 2 and 4 different phases. I'm not sure for this one as I haven't done it for a while, and it doesn't look like it's going to give the information here. Here's another good thing as well. We can also see the abilities that are affecting this territory here. So any abilities that we get from our combat missions previously, they're going to show up here and let us know, what abilities are actually going to be affecting that mission for us. And once I've done that, I can go ahead and find where our guild officers have asked us to focus our deployment. I can go ahead and click deploy here, click the remainder of my roster, and then deploy. I'm not going to do that now because I've still got a combat mission that I think I can defeat, but I don't want to waste you guys' time by watching you make me do it. But that is pretty much the 3-step process to completing TB. So, number 1, we go to Discord, we check our assignments for those platoons, we come in here and we assign only the platoons that the Echostation bot has told us to. Once that is done, number 2, we come and complete all of these combat missions that have been focused for us. You get through those as much as you possibly can because this is where we're going to be getting a significant portion of our territory points. And then, last but not least, we come in here, hit deploy, and then we are done for our contribution to TB for the guild. Okay, guys, that is pretty much all I have to give you for covering how to TB. I hope this video was useful for you. If it was, there's a couple of ways that you can help me out in the future now with all these videos, and that is to click on the link that takes you over to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and whack a like on there. If you want to comment on any of my videos, if you have any thoughts, then you can go ahead and drop those as well. Those things really help me, and if you're super keen, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then hopefully the more and more of these videos I do, the wider the audience will be able to reach, and we'll see where it takes us. But anyway, guys, that is it from me for now. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.